Right, welcome back. Let's take a look at our trending topics now. Now, first up, Senzo Mayur trial. And of course, this has been going on for the past week, and boy, oh boy, there's always drama. At the beginning of yesterday's proceedings, Advocate Defo was in court again. So first they had to deal with that matter, and then eventually things got underway, and the third witness that the state has called, who was a very close friend of Senzo Mayur's, Tumelo Madlala, he continued on the stand, but he was under cross-examination, of course, from the advocate representing accused number 1 to 4. Very interesting. Some of the discrepancies that the defense is trying to raise, obviously going to the credibility of Tumelo Madlala as a witness.
Amazing. Yeah, very interesting to be watching this one and seeing some of the things that are being said in there. And yeah, just... that
guy in shot right now is, of course, accused number 2, whom Madlala pointed out as the guy who was in the house, who had, the late Senzo Mayur had pinned against the wall.
All right, well, there we go. With a smile on his face. So that's this case. I don't know.
All sorts of speculation and innuendo as well being raised.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Who held who against the wall? The talk of Kelly and them fighting, and I don't know. It's just a tough one, and I hope we get to the bottom of it. But all right,
continues today.
Still continues today. Kanye is trending, and quite a big one actually. And this one is where Kanye West's lawyers apparently sent a letter to Gap. If you remember, a few weeks ago there was a story doing the rounds of how Kanye lost the plot. He always loses the plot. We know that on social media. It constantly goes at someone. But Gap was the one that he had in his sights. And now he sent a lawyer's letter to Gap notifying the apparel chain that the rapper and the fashion designer was terminating his partnership with the company, saying it failed to meet its obligations under the contract. So according to them, Gap breached its agreement with West by not selling the Yeezy Gap branded products at its brick-and-mortar outlets and failing to open dedicated stores for the brand. So this is the story, and the company can sell existing Yeezy Gap stocks until the sell-off period, but that's it. And at that time, as soon as this letter was handed down, shares in the company, and which is the Banana Republic parent company, dropped, closing almost 4% lower. So yeah, quite an interesting one. It was a 10-year deal signed in 2020, and it just seems that it's not going to.
There are a few things that Kanye is unhappy about. So he was speaking to CNBC, and he went on to say that they have a lot of commitments to China, and we wanted to do localized manufacturing, which is completely possible with the factories that I'm buying here in California. We can actually bring industry back to America. And then he also went on to say that I'm not going to argue with people that are broker than me about money.
Look at that.
Yeah, take that.
Oh, it's nice to have money and take on something like Gap. Okay, well, there we go. That's Kanye West not sitting back, not taking this nonsense. Okay, so there we go. That's it. Zimbabwe, it's trending in a way where it's not there to make us feel better about our electricity status, but goodness gracious, on Wednesday, Zimbabwe Electricity Commission, or the Transmission and Distribution Company, said it's going to be cutting their power for up to 13 hours a day. Listen, we're not, I'm not going to say we're not there, but we're not far off if you're looking at stage 4 where we're at. I mean, I have to say, I don't know if it happens to you, but you just feel like you're following load shedding, because I arrive at home, electricity's gone. I then run around, do what I have to with my day. I get back, electricity's gone. I then, of course, trudge through that, then manage to go to wake up, electricity's not there. So I almost am doubting I ever have electricity in my house.
We are being managed.
That's
almost
how it feels.
Without electricity for almost a third of the day, every day.
Yeah.
And for some reason, again, and this is why I say we are being managed when it comes to load shedding. Our emotions are being managed. So instead of putting us out for a whole 7.5 hours at a time, you break it up into 3 blocks, so it doesn't seem so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't seem so bad.
But of course, we have to now plan our lives around load shedding.
Yeah, and traffic, and the traffic lights out, and everything's at a standstill. You have to close shop.
But something else I must mention before I forget.
Tell me what?
Load shedding is buggering up so many of our appliances.
Oh, yes.
So many, costs that are associated with things that are breaking down.
Yeah.
I told you about my box.
Yeah, and the power surges. When
And
the
the-
electricity goes down and then suddenly comes up, and then, I don't know if you've noticed as well, moments later, it shuts down again, and then it comes up. But the whole time, your house is powering up, powering off, and then your appliances in the house and the grids are burnt. They burn, they can't handle this.
So mine now, when the electricity comes back on, it doesn't come up.
Yeah.
So I literally have to go down to the box, put everything down, and put it up again.
Yeah.
Now, if there is a problem, is that supposed to be for my account?
Yeah.
When I did not cause that problem? No,
They're going
guys,
to tell you
no,
you should have
no.
switched it off during load shedding. No, I'm telling you. You know how these
Switch
guys
what
work.
off?
Actually switch your electricity off, wait for it to come on, then go down and start it again. You know they'll find
But you know
something.
what we're saying. Sometimes it comes back, it goes off
Yeah,
again, So my life, I'm supposed to stand in front of this box and be flicking the switch.
All day. I'm sorry, it's not funny, but yes.
It's not funny, Leah.
It's what they expect.
But we were talking about Zimbabwe.
But listen, it's Zimbabwe that's
Just a
straight. But
few
you
other
see,
things regarding Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
There is, of course, also the President Emerson Mnangagwa and the whole attending the Queen's funeral
that's a big
allegations
one.
that he, of course, applied to attend and was rejected. The allegations, we don't know if that actually happened or not.
Exactly.
But yeah, that has also been spoken
also one
about.
of the- we'll
and
see.
there was another story about Zimbabweans apparently being turned away at the Beitbridge border post because they didn't have the correct documentation.
Oh, wow.
So they were being turned back and not allowed to enter Zimbabwe. So all sorts of things
Wow,
that people are talking
Yeah,
about
and that's
around the Zimbabwe
just
trend.
up the road, just up
Yeah.
the road. That's what the worst part is. All right, Rob Hersov, also a trending topic, and this is one that started when that video started doing the rounds. We spoke quite extensively about it yesterday, and spoke you through what Rob Hersov was saying about President Ramaphosa, and just clowns in cabinet, blah 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 blah. Anyway, just talking about a lot of things. Well, there's been a lot of sort of clapbacks since then, and one of them comes from Gwede Mantashe, and he basically has said, we have noted with concern the mischievous remarks by Rob Hersov on the South African government. We urge him and the business sector to work with the government in the reconstruction and recovery of our economy rather than working against us. If they work against us, we will fail. And at the same time, he put a clip out there, obviously a clip from a while ago, but it's just, just him talking to the fact that don't speak against us, work with us, and, I don't know. And then while I was scrolling, actually saw something with, what's his name? Carl Niehaus, also. Yeah, Footsec, Rob Hersov, saying, I have listened, you've got to listen to this, I have listening with bristling irritation to the arrogant, white entitled speech by Rob Hersov at the Biz News conference. I despise the arrogant piece of white trash. It is exactly because of people like Rob Hersov that we are in the mess that we are. By his own acknowledgement, his family and himself gave us the likes of Cyril Ramaphosa and his fellow sellouts. These arrogant, evil WMC manipulators funded Cyril and co. and manipulated and wormed them into the ANC. If you want to, you can read the whole page document. There are a couple of swear words in there, a few more footsecs, and then Yo Mood, Rob Hersov.
Yeah,
So that's, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's park it right there. Because, when it comes down to it, they've been saying the same thing, the two of them, that President Ramaphosa is an embarrassment and that he should resign. They've both been saying that in different ways. So at this point, really, I am more interested in the finer nuances about what is being said here and the meaning behind it. as to who gave us whom, let's not be selective in our memory about how things came about. We were all there in 2012 at the Mangaung conference when Cyril Ramaphosa became the deputy president, and Carl was there too. So we all know how this happened. Let's not be selective in how we recall things. But the point is, Carl, Rob, they both saying the same thing. And yeah, next.
The saddest one of all. Goodbye, Roger Federer. We knew it was, we knew it was coming. But that is, just to actually see it on paper, hear him say the words and just realize that this is the end for Roger Federer in terms of playing big Grand Slams and these major tours and tournaments. He's as he said, tried, he's done everything he can to try and recover, but it just won't happen.
Yeah.
And wow.
Knee injury that has
just amazing.
Just
What a
brought it
career.
all down. But you know what? Roger, I know I don't matter. You probably don't even know I exist, in the speck of
that little
dust
speck
in
of dust in the universe.
somewhere in a place that nobody knows. But you will always be my number one.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that one. He is just... Tennis is not, it's not going to be the same. I mean, without these amazing greats that we're saying goodbye to. We've got a wonderful young crop that are coming up that are brilliant. They really are. We enjoyed watching them at the US Open. But the class and style and manner in which Roger Federer plays and played this game was just something that I'm not sure we'll ever see again. He was
end of an era
incredible.
for a lot of us, I mean, Serena and Roger.
In 1 year.
These guys were on my profiles, on my bios, like Roger Federer, Serena Williams. They were part of me, along with Arsenal and that team from Naturena. But
That's another story.
So down.
I know, but I mean, it was so beautiful to see. I mean, as we wrap up, I mean, just to see also Nadal paying tribute to him. Just you could see the friendship that they
beautiful
had.
friendship between the two of them.
This was just the one. I mean, there's a whole thing he puts out, and it's a really heartfelt thing, but this was the beginning. Dear Roger, my friend and rival, I wish this day would have never come. It is a sad day for me personally and for sports around the world. It's been a pleasure, but also an honor and privilege to share all these years with you, living so many amazing moments on and off the court. And it goes on and on, but just saying I will miss you, and I know we'll have many more moments to share together in the future. There's still lots of things to do together, and we know that. For now, I truly wish you all the happiness with your wife, America, your kids, your family, and enjoy what's ahead of you. I'll see you in London at the Laver Cup.
And of course, he's got those two sets of twins, Roger and Mirka. They have those two sets of twins. So, man, go and enjoy it, Roger.
Indeed.
And,
Indeed.
it just reminded me, Rafa and Roger, the Wimbledon final, the best match ever.
Yeah.
I still remember I was in Dar es Salaam and we were meant to go to Morogoro. Could not leave.
To go and watch,
no.
just because you were just
that match was everything. Of course, Roger lost, but that still, I think, is the greatest match in tennis. But I tell you what came close to it. Yannick Sinner and our boy Alcaraz in the US quarters.
Yeah.
That was an amazing match.
Well,
but goodbye, Roger.
Goodbye, Roger. We love you. Okay, all right, on to the question of the day now. So let's take a look. This is what we're asking you. In fact, we've got two really interesting things for you today, a poll and a question. So the question is, what are your views on the mounting calls for law professor Richard Callan to recuse himself from the independent panel looking into the Phala Phala robbery? So you saw the reactions yesterday after that panel was announced, and I mean, you just had to go through our early morning question yesterday to see how people were sort of saying, why Richard Callan? And that has not stopped since. So we'd just like to ask you your views again on this one.
And perhaps paraphrasing, because what this panel will look into is, of course, whether the president ought to be impeached by Parliament for that Phala Phala robbery.
Yeah.
So, but let us know what your views are. Should Richard Callan, Professor Richard Callan, recuse himself?
Yeah.
And we have a poll as well this morning. And this stems from the story that we have in the news about the former Chief Justice Mogoeng. Now, the former Chief Justice, of course, says he knows he's called to be president, and he will pronounce himself when the time is right. Now, we want to know, would you vote for former Chief Justice Mogoeng as president or not? Or maybe if you're undecided at this point. But let's just play along. Would you vote for former Chief Justice as president of